Are you tired of playing with the cards you opened a week ago? Is your attention span 30 seconds or less? Do you want to get hyped again before the hype is even worn off from the last hype? Well, break out the Hot Pockets and the vinyl chloride flavored Mountain Dew because this is a spoiler video, buddy. I don't think I've ever done a spoiler video on this channel, but this is Nicky G and welcome to Better Commander. This is the interweb show where I get the cards wrong all the time because I work a regular job and I'm tired and I don't have time to read all the cards, just like you. It's like a fun scavenger hunt for smart people. See where I made something up and made a mistake and you can get a cookie. Do you want me to stay alive forever? Because I'm 6,000 subscribers away from being able to upload my consciousness into an advanced AI so I can ride the waves of the data stream for eternity. Like, subscribe, leave a comment, feel free to buy me a coffee at the link in the description. Now listen, you might be able to detect this in my voice, but I'm a little cynical about the infinite hype ride we've been on for the past few years. Wizards is going to spoil incredibly powerful cards to gin up interest in the set, which is fine, and these actually look pretty interesting. This set apparently features all your favorite fan fiction relationships from across the multiverse, strong legendary themes, and uniting friend and foe into an Antifa-like Justice League to stand up against the corpo-fascist Phyrexians. And we all know this is a bit cynical, but let's not kid ourselves, alright? I've seen full-on cardboard addiction. Give me some of that. Give me some of that Hobble B1. Give me some more of that March of the Mothers. I mean, we all have these tiny attention spans, and what does Wizards and Hasbro want anyway? Money. They feed our addiction, we feed theirs. The executives with the names like John House and Robert Staircase, they're in their suits and red ties, and they say the same thing about all the money, dude. Give me that money. Give me some more money. Alright, let's start with Galta and Mavrin. 3 green, white for a legendary creature dinosaur vampire. It's a 12/12 with trample. Whenever you attack, choose one. Create a tapped and attacking XX green dinosaur creature token with trample, where X is the greatest power among other attacking creatures. Okay, so you can't use this creature's power, you gotta have another creature. Or create X 1/1 white vampire creature tokens with lifelink, where X is the number of other attacking creatures. Interesting. So Galta and Mavrin, they met on Grindr, right? Where they forged a friendship after a year of tumultuous dating didn't work out. Because Mavrin's dad was kind of conservative and he would fat shame Galta. He's like, how's this supposed to work? This guy's 11,000 pounds. Mechanically, this is powerful and interesting. You can go wide or you can go tall. Keep in mind that this is a tramply 12/12 for 7 mana to begin with. By itself, that's pretty decent. If you're packing haste effects, this is a big life loss for somebody out of nowhere, especially if you already have doubling power effects or extra combats in like a Naya colored deck. Oh man, here he comes, the Fairy Mastermind. 1 and a blue for a creature Fairy Rogue. It's a 2/1 with flash and flying. Whenever an opponent draws their second card each turn, you draw a card. 3 blue, each player draws a card. They made this guy look pretty cool, I cannot deny it. If anyone ever made a card out of my likeness, I'd be bummed out if it was a fairy though, I'm gonna be honest. I'm more of an ogre type of guy or like a minotaur or something. This is awesome in so many decks. Solid little evasive role player. Everybody builds a card advantage engine into their commander decks, and this scales with the number of opponents you have if you have other ways to make everyone draw. Oh, here he comes, the big man himself, Heliad the Radiant Dawn. 2 white for a legendary enchantment creature, God. When Heliad the Radiant Dawn enters the battlefield, return target enchantment card that isn't a god from your graveyard to your hand. He has 3 and a blue Phyrexian, transforms into this guy, Heliad the Warped Eclipse. You may cast spells as though they had flash. Spells you cast cost 1 less to cast for each card your opponents have drawn this turn. I'm a little bit underwhelmed by this. You want to have an enchantment in your graveyard when you cast it, but the backside is where the power is. It's going to take you 8 mana to get there though. I mean, as we just discussed, your opponents are going to be drawing cards, and you can help them out with wheel effects in blue, then cast some fat spell on their end step. It's very interesting, and both the art treatments are very pretty. Alright, then we have Drana and Linvala, 1 white and a black for a legendary creature Vampire Angel. It's a 3/4 with flying and vigilance. Activated abilities of creatures your opponents control can't be activated. Drana and Linvala has all activated abilities of all creatures your opponents control. You may spend mana as though it were mana of any color to activate those abilities. This is interesting. These two used the same lawyer when they got divorced and they met in her office. They joked at the time about opening a feminist coffee shop that also sold high-end headphones, and that's where Java Beats came from, dude. This is an interesting card, not sure how good it is. There are lots of decks that use creatures with activated abilities, but more decks with triggered abilities and ETB effects. This would be great at the helm of like a hate bear deck though. Alright, Jin-Gitaxias. Listen, I'm gonna have to take a nap after reading this. 3 blue for a legendary creature Phyrexian Praetor. Has Ward 2. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, With mana value 3 or greater, draw a card. Fantastic. 3 and a blue, exile it, return it to the battlefield transformed under its owner's control, activate only as a sorcery, and only if you have 7 or more cards in hand. It's a 5/5. Comes back as the Great Synthesis. So this is a saga. First chapter, draw cards equal to the number of cards in your hand. You have no maximum hand size for as long as you control the Great Synthesis. 2, return all 9 Phyrexian creatures to their owner's hands. 3, you may cast any number of spells from your hand without paying their mana cost. Exile the Great Synthesis, return it to the battlefield front face up. This is the most text I've ever seen on a card, and I like pretty much all of it. It's got protection, it's got card draw, it's got a board wipe, it's got mana cheating all on one card. I don't think it will be too hard to draw more than 7 cards in blue, right? This is a super interesting build around. I like it a lot. Even if you don't plan on transforming it, the second ability on the front side is all gas, dude. Now this is right up my alley. Breach the Multiverse, 5 black for a sorcery. Each player mills 10 cards. For each player, choose a creature or planeswalker card in that player's graveyard. Put those cards onto the battlefield under your control. Then each creature you control becomes a Phyrexian in addition to its other types. What a fantastic sorcery in a functional mill deck. This works for you as well. Captain Engathrode loves this. A lot of cards love this. It's very similar to a Sepulchral Primordial, but it's on a sorcery and you get that extra mill, buddy. This is great. And we got Chandra, Hope's Beacon, 4 red for a legendary planeswalker, Chandra. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, copy it. You may choose new targets for the copy. This ability triggers only once each turn. Only once each turn, dude. +2, add 2 mana in any combination of colors. +1, exile the top 5 cards of your library. Until the end of your next turn, you may cast an instant or sorcery spell from among those exiled cards. -X, Chandra, Hope's Beacon deals X damage to each of up to 2 targets. Starting loyalty is 5. Alright man, here comes the plot twist. Chandra was Drana and Linvala's lawyer all along. She got her law degree after being scorned by Jin-Gitaxias himself, dude. He wanted to go off and do all kinds of synthesis with the ladies in the neighborhood. Now she's mad, and she's ready to be bad. The static ability is amazing, well worth the hefty 6 mana investment. She's like a burn deck's best friend, very interesting planeswalker for 6 mana. Here comes another plot twist. Omnath was the monster from Stranger Things all along. This guy's a Wooburg, but you can pay a black Phyrexian for a legendary creature, Phyrexian Elemental. If you would lose unspent mana, that mana becomes black instead. At the beginning of your pre-combat main phase, look at the top card of your library. You may reveal that card if it has 3 or more colored mana symbols in its mana cost. If you do, add 3 mana in any combination of colors and put it in your hand. If you don't reveal it, just put it into your hand. It's 4/4. As my friend Kevin said, I'm a little wary of a 5-color legend with card draw and ramp in the command zone, but such is life. This is generically powerful, and beyond 3-color spells doesn't really shoehorn you in any particular build path. Be careful if you build a deck around this though, because if more than 6 other people build a deck, a little bell rings in Sheldon Menery's bathroom and he gets up off the toilet and bans the card. I bet you there's a bunch of people in their basements right now writing fan fiction on this card. Thalia and the Gitrog monster, 1 white, black, and a green for a legendary creature, a human frog horror. It's a 4/4 with first strike and death touch. You may play an additional land on each of your turns. Creatures and non-basic lands your opponents control enter the battlefield tapped. Wow. Whenever Thalia and Gitrog monster attack, sacrifice a creature or land, then draw a card. What a nasty stacks effect. This is bonkers. Fetch lands and Crucible of Worlds effects plus this effect in the command zone means you're building resources far faster than your opponents, and their resource accrual is all coming in tapped. This card is an argument for immediate instant speed removal. This thing cannot be allowed to stick around. And as to how these two met, they actually both got hired for the same gum commercial by mistake. After an embarrassing negotiation, Thalia's agent pitched Gitrog on a romantic comedy where Gitrog plays Thalia's stepdad and eats her boyfriend. It was called Uncle Frog, but it died in production hell after Gitrog ate the executive producer's dog. Yargle and Multani, 3 black, and a green for a legendary creature, Frog Spirit Elemental. No text. It's an 18/6. It's got a lot of flavor text, so lots of power, lots of flavor text. Multani's kid was really into trains. That's what the flavor text talks about. That's where she met Yargle. They were both part of this train discussion group. They would talk about train whistles and stuff. And the only bigger fan of trains than her was Multani, her dad. So it was natural that they just, merge into one disgusting body and go smash up some Phyrexians. 18 power, I could use that for lots of stuff. You can fling it with Gerard, you can exile it to Mimeoplasm. Interesting card, if not a bit vanilla. So listen, it's not enough we just get a standard set. We got to have a commander set too, and we're going to have some March of the Machines commander cards. Of course we do. Now, that's not to say that I'm not a big fan of this. I actually like it when they just stick these little cards in like they did with Dominaria United, because it kind of frees them to explore some different archetypes and you don't have to worry about the draft format. Anyway, you got Goro and Satoru. Blue, black, and a red for a legendary creature, Goblin Human. It's a 3/4. Whenever one or more creatures you control that entered the battlefield this turn deal combat damage to a player, create a 5/5 red dragon spirit creature token with flying. One of the red creatures you control gain haste until end of turn. This is really cool. You either want ninja shenanigans or you want evasive creatures with haste, or both. This is awesome. This looks like a lot of fun. It's a fun build around commander deck that rewards you with dragons. It's powerful but not overpowered by today's standards. And these two guys, they met at their kids' taekwondo class where they discovered they both really liked ice fishing. After a few trips on the ice and a couple beers, these guys are best bros. Alright, man, then we got Katilda and Lear. A green, white, and blue for a legendary creature human. Whenever you cast a human spell, target instant or sorcery card in your graveyard gains flashback until end of turn. The flashback cost is equal to its mana cost. It's a 3/3. So these two have been touring the Multiverse for a few years as part of the musical supergroup Harvesttide, right? A lot of classic songs. But it came out a couple years later that Lear was doing some nefarious stuff with Mike Lindell, the founder of MyPillow, and trying to start a MyPillow cult, dude, which really didn't go down well. He got canceled, but Katilda went her own way and formed a Stevie Nicks cover band. Nice combination of the two characters' abilities. You got human weenies and flashback removal in band colors. This is a great hate bear commander, and white has some of the best removal in the game. The value here is awesome. Add in some draw effects and reuse it over and over again. Synergy, man. Archmage Emeritus. Stock up now. Now rest assured, there's also going to be some hyper premium masterpiece type cards, because gambling is really awesome, right? I'm not sure how you'll be able to pull these cards, but rest assured, you will have to pay half your bones directly to Wizard to get a 0.069% chance of opening a Ragavan or an Atraxa. Robert Staircase and Chief Bones Officer Mike Streetcar, they're in their office chairs thinking up ways to get all your flesh and bones. Well, listen, there's also some plane chase stuff. A couple comments got spilled out, but I'm not sure what's going on with that. More to come. Thanks for spoiling your entire day with me. I know you could watch spoiler videos anywhere. God knows Mitch from Commander Quarters already has 25 videos out. Yeah, this is literally the end of the earth in magma and fire and a mass extinction event on one card. This is Nick G from Better Commander, signing off.